The Gulf of Mexico. Place of sun, surf, and semantics? Well, not anymore. Thanks to a recent executive order, it's now the Gulf of America. So you know what? You liberals can suck it. You can cry your little liberal tears so that I can drink them all up. Maybe that'll be enough to fill up the Gulf of America. Misfits. Did you miss me? Yes, folks, in a move that's making cartographers reach for the aspirin, the name change is official. Well, at least within the US. But wait, there's more. Our neighbors to the south aren't exactly thrilled. Mexico has even threatened to sue Google if their maps continue to label the entire body of water as the Gulf of America. Talk about making waves, am I right? Yeah. So now, depending on where you're standing or which website you're looking at, you might be looking at the Gulf of America or the Gulf of Mexico. It's a geographical identity crisis. I think our body of water to the south is going through some things right now. Hey, just a word of advice. Don't ask RFK for help. Gulf of Mexico. He'll probably send you to a work camp. All jokes aside, this renaming raises some important questions. What's in a name? Who gets to decide? While borders and titles can change with the stroke of a pen, the essence of a place and the people connected to it remain the same. Probably wondering what's causing me to crash out right now. Honestly, maybe me too. But recently I saw this. And it got me thinking, do liberals do this? Now I know what you're thinking, Jonas. It's completely different. These forts were named after white nationalists, known racists, and harmful caricatures. They need to be changed. To which I would reply, yes, I agree. The circumstances are completely different. But have we on the left perhaps focused on the wrong things? Now, I'm not talking about focusing on systemic racism and the impact that it's had on marginalized communities. Instead, what I mean is simply this. Is using taxpayer dollars to change the names of bases better than actually fighting systems of oppression? Perhaps it is fighting systems of oppression to change these names. And don't get me wrong, I think it is an embarrassment to our country to have some of the names. But are our politicians on the left and the right simply throwing us a little culture war bone while the real problems remain unsolved? Many comments under this post remarked that Democrats wasted a lot of taxpayer dollars to change these bases. And maybe they're right. But what they failed to realize is something that other commenters pointed out. This administration is about to waste even more money changing them back. Ultimately, these petty culture wars ignore the problems. And I'm not trying to both sides this right now, even though it might sound like it. Trust me, I grew up conservative. Understand that many of their ideologies are harmful and there's no both sides about it. But it's focusing on changing the names on maps to prove how great we are, or changing the names of bases to show how not racist we are, actually make any of that true? The difference here with the left and the right is that the left is attempting to stand up for historically marginalized communities and to ensure that they are not celebrating those who have excluded people from what it means to be an American. However, we can't forget that the real thing that we're fighting for is not simply the changing of names, but for the idea of disavowing known racists to be something that's not controversial. Often I've seen that Christians are some of the worst perpetrators in this regard. From supporting slavery to being proud members of the KKK to opposing civil rights, Christians have often found themselves on the wrong side of history. The renaming of the Gulf, in and of itself, doesn't really matter. Unfortunately, the ideology and the way of thinking that it stands for is indicative of something more sinister. In times like these, we need to remember that it's the ideology that we're fighting, not the actions in and of themselves. We cannot get hung up on one thing for too long. Those above us want us to stay distracted. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and maybe send a map maker some love. They're kind of having a tough time right now. I mean, things might change again soon. Send them some love. Peace.